Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. It is a crisp 60 degrees outside, and this is the first time in 6 months it's been below 80. So I am in heaven. It's really quite nice. I mean, it's a bit rainy, but I have my window open. I'm chilling. I'm pumped. And yeah, we're here to talk about some Stardom, some Marigold, some Questin. The usual. Uh, yeah. Update on the Big Brother podcast me and Scott are tiptoeing towards. It has a name.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
It's feeling
we're we're
serious.
we're 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 like I said, we're tiptoeing. We're
Okay.
tiptoeing. Might never come out, but we it's there's progress.
See, are we getting the name, or are you gonna keep that one up your sleeve?
Um, the name currently, and this won't make much sense to people who don't know Big Brother, is On the Block because the whole premise of the game show is if you're on the block, you're basically fucked. Um,
Okay.
and you're eligible to get kicked out. So, considering me and Scott have incredibly bad luck and are widely disliked by many people, there's a high probability that we would be on the block, and that is why that's the name currently. Also, because the other names I came up with have already been taken. So,
No, that's very
yeah,
disappointing. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it's a fine name though. That's what we're working with right now. We'll see
okay.
when that comes to fruition. Uh, but yeah, I got the big homie already working on some art. Yeah,
Oh,
we'll see.
okay.
We'll see.
All right. Well, very interested by this. Our fan base seemed to be very into it too. We somehow have like cordoned off the Joshi fans who are also Big Brother viewers. It was very fascinating. And when everybody was like, "Oh, Dylan likes that too," I was like, "Oh, all right, you guys are having fun, I guess." Yeah, head on over to the 5-star-network.com for all the latest articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of pro wrestling. And head on over to the 5 Star Network YouTube channel, which is where this, as well as shows like Actress Stage and No Limit Wrestling, all go up. No updates on any of those, as far as I'm aware. Don't keep up with the Actress Stage schedule, but I did listen to one of their previous shows because they name dropped me, and I was like, fine, I'm gonna have to. And it is a fun time. So go back and listen to some of those if you want to get into Actress, or even just want to know who is eventually going to get poached by the big companies that you like. Um, but yeah, I guess we should start with Stardom. I wasn't sure which one to start with because, like, technically Marigold ran on the Friday with the Gacha thing, but then that wasn't really a Marigold show, and they're both running Korakuen in the next week, so that kind of evens out as well. So I was like, all of my like tiebreakers are broken, but we're gonna start with Stardom. Don't think they've had any news. They haven't really announced anything. There's been nothing um going on there. I know they have some homecoming shows coming up, but
Hmm.
otherwise it was very quiet. They had some of the roster in China, so they weren't really doing a whole lot. And we're gonna review
Didn't go
the
up.
don't know, truly.
Oh shit, we might be on
Um,
New Japan World, not Stardom.
yeah, maybe. I don't really know how it
I was
goes.
I was looking for it, but I was looking for it through Stardom avenues, and so I just realized that probably wouldn't work. But it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
appear
that's
like it's
quite
there
possible.
either. So yeah,
Well,
no
I'm sure we'll
worries.
see it eventually if we want
Hmm.
to. We're gonna review the first show, which was Stomping presents New Blood 24. This is in the Bell Cell, Shinjuku South, and this is 214 fans, which feels pretty on brand for the card that they put together. There was nothing really of note happening unless you're a big Tai Hanma fan. Um, and this one opened with Emma Maishima and Kikyo Furusawa going to a 10-minute time limit draw. Didn't really expect this result, but probably should have. It was kind of I'm very high on Emma. Everybody knows that, but this felt like her trying to wrestle Kikyo's match a lot more than doing her
Mhm.
own stuff. So it was kind of an interesting match, but definitely not as good as I think Emma can have because she was really trying to ground herself and meet Kikyo at her level.
Uh, yeah, Kikyo needs to leave.
I disagree, but I totally understand. She is
Like,
like
and
made for
I'm
so
not
many
even
other
like
companies.
like, "Oh, go to Marigold." Literally go anywhere else.
She's a very
Like,
TJPW wrestler. They're very
she could
technical on
she
the
could
house
do
show.
well in TGPW,
Yeah,
she could
I
do
think she's
well
pretty
in
good.
Sendai, she could do well in Marvelous, she could do well pretty much anywhere except she could do well in Marigold still, pretty much anywhere except for here. Uh, I just don't think this is gonna work. I really love her style. I think she's really interesting, but there's no way for her to advance in her style in this company. It's just not really
Mhm,
a thing that they do. Uh, because yeah, I mean, like she held Emma behind here. Not like, and I think in a lot of instances, Kikyo is a better wrestler than Emma. I know that you disagree, but like I think there are a lot of facets where I'm like, oh, I think Kikyo is a more has is a more advanced wrestler. But stylistically, so few people in this company can do what Kikyo does or combat that that she holds people behind. And this match was her like, really stifling her opponent, unfortunately. Uh because her style is very specific and is just not something that especially the youngins in this on this roster can really do. So, yeah, I just think she needs to go. I think she needs to go somewhere else. Um yeah.
yeah. I feel like most of the other technicians end up incorporating strikes to kind of combat
I
that.
mean, look
Because
at
even
Miyu
like
Amasaki.
yeah,
Um,
or her where she kind
she
of
did a bunch of
focused on the
DDTs.
DDTs. But then you have like Siri, who's a technician, and she does a lot of the kicks and has kind of evolved to be a more of a like big bomb style wrestler. And then there's Rana, who started with the technicians and is kind of a striker now. Ayasakura, fully a striker. I think Kikyo would have to follow some of that kind of train where she would have to add another like layer to her. Because yeah, I don't think in Stardom with as many kind of excellent athletes as there is here, you're gonna get by just doing what she does.
I
'Cause
doubt
yeah,
this is
like
her actual influence, but she is very like what you would think a rookie version of Marika Yoshida would be. Um,
yeah, yeah.
because obviously rookie Marika Yoshida was
Rookie
actually a
Miyuki
fucking
Yoshida
freak.
was Emma. She was
Um,
Emma.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But by the time that Yoshida reached her final form, she was like basically like what Kikyo is attempting to be one day type of thing.
Mhm.
And you just can't do that in this company. I don't think you have to be young Mariko Yoshida. There's no room for a you know peak Mariko Yoshida. Like this, it's just there's just not. So yeah, I think that's ultimately the problem. Um, because yeah, like Mariko Yoshida wasn't a big striker. Like one of my favorite matches was her that I've seen recently at least was her versus Gami, where like Gami was the striker technician, and that's how she would get her upper hands against Yoshida. But Yoshida was just so good at like the grappling and the ground game that she won. Like, and that was kind of the
Mhm.
story of the match there. Um, unless they find seven more Shuris for Kikyo
Well,
to
never know.
routinely be wrestling against good Shuris. I just don't think that's gonna happen. Kind
Okay.
of funny. I'm comparing Gami to Shuri, but
Mhm.
if you've seen Young Gami, you understand my
Yeah, no,
point in saying that.
When she was Fudagami,
Yeah,
she was
Fudagami was real.
yeah, she was cool. Yeah, no, I think maybe Kikyo will get better off when they have Matoi back and like Ane. I think that could be a
Mm.
stylistic thing quite well that could work. And Siri is training now, obviously, so I think she could maybe help get more Kikyos. But yeah, as it is, I think she's like a real out of left field
She's on an
approach.
island.
Because this match was just Emma kind of really not working her stuff and doing Kikyos, and it was like, okay, yeah, Emma's usually way better though. So
Yeah,
yeah, I got where you're coming from. Our next match was Yuki Mishiro beating Yuria Hime and Fukigen Death in just under 7 minutes. Yuki pinned Death actually with the extra large clutch. Yeah, this is a lot of bits, and then Yuria kind of being like, "Hey, I'm still here." Um, and Fukigen kind of just like working the crowd the way she does. Like it was a lot of that.
yeah.
All right. Waka.
The problem is, I was thinking about skipping some of these and just not saying I did, but I didn't. I watched every single match, but I have nothing to say.
Yeah,
Like
very, very
literally
much.
nothing here. Like I
Yeah.
mean, I thought like it's nice seeing Yuki Mashiro, but it wasn't like
Yeah.
she did anything particularly,
No.
you know, captivating. I mean, I like all three of them, but it's just wasn't much here really.
Yeah. Which we kind of said in our preview. We were
Mm.
like, I don't know how this match is supposed to work, but and it didn't. Um, Wakaskiyama and Rian beat Echika Miyabi and Riara in just under 12 minutes. Waka pinned Riara with the Moonlight Dream. This had some good parts. I think Echika is a lot
It had
better
some bad
than
parts
when.
though.
Yeah, yeah, but Echika is a lot better than when we last saw her.
Hmm. Hmm.
Riara, I think, it was better here than she was in her entire Marigold run. Like this was the Riara
Yeah.
that I saw in Gon Pro that really interested me.
The little
Um,
chunk of Riar versus Rihanna I quite liked. I thought it was a lot of
yeah,
fun. But I wasn't a big fan of anything else in the match.
I like that one chop Echika through. That was nuts.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah,
And
that's fair.
the big boot was good. We respect the big boot. Yeah, my only takeaway was that Waka needs to really stop with the butt attack spot because she doesn't look like she's hurting Riara. Like Riara was just like nodding her head back and forth to sell it, and I was like, no, like you have to at least like pretend that this is real. You have to at least like make impact instead of your arse cheek just like tapping their head a little
Well,
bit.
it's TNA now. It's not Impact anymore. So,
Yes. Um,
but
yeah,
in Waka's case, it's just A.
yeah, it's well, and even then, it's very light. Because yeah, it doesn't even make impacts. Like, just don't do it if you're not gonna touch them at all. you know. So yeah, that was something that really annoyed me. But like the rest of it, I thought was good, and Riara and Echika were pretty standout.
Yeah, I thought the PvP Tokyo girls were good. Um, I like I said, I thought Rian and Riara especially was interesting. Yeah, I don't know what was up with Riara during that Marigold run. It was very strange.
Yeah, she
Um,
just wasn't doing much.
'Cau like, she would have, like, a match that was good and then just would never be even close to it.
Mm,
Like, she did that, like, maybe twice, and then there was, 30 other matches she had. It was very strange. Um, because she is a fine worker, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't particularly like this match, but I thought Riara was the brightest spot of it
yeah.
by far for me. So, yeah,
Okay.
Waka needs to stop. I agree. I thought Waka was bad.
Yeah. No, she does. We then had Hina beat Kyoka Kotatsu in just over 7 minutes. Hina won with the modified jackhammer. I like this new brand of Hina match where she just kind of gets all her shit in and beats somebody up. And I thought Kyoka was kind of intriguing, kind of working from underneath and like getting her kicks away when she could and kind of trying to survive the onslaught. But this was definitely one of those where you're just like, wow, Hina is so good.
Yeah, funnily enough, I feel like Kotatsu has a similar issue to Kyoko, or Kikyo rather. Kyoko. Uh, yeah, she has a similar issue to Kyoko Noe. She won't go away. Um, but I feel like it worked better here because Hina is just kind of like such a great all rounder. She could really handle pretty much anything in the ring. I feel like at this point, while the match was good but not great, ultimately, I think Hina is dope. But you know, Fukuda is still just kind of weird. You know,
Yeah, well, she's not like doing well. That's
she's
Kyoka's
not
issue.
doing
She's
any of the shit she was doing cool. Like
no,
when she was doing
she
the
really peaked
UWF
in
stuff,
after
she had
STRs.
some. Well, yes, but even when she was doing UWF stuff, she had like some really cool offense. But I feel like none of
Mm,
that. It's like when Aya first debuted and she didn't know how to do the karate stuff well
yeah.
in wrestling. But
Yes.
Kyoko went from being a shoot wrestler to a wrestler. It's the same thing.
Mm,
Just do just do that. Why don't you do that anymore? You don't do any of the interesting stuff you used to.
yeah.
Because she was always bad at grappling. Like grappling was never her strong suit. I don't know why that's the only thing she carried with her. Like she's like I'm
Well,
gonna get rid of
she
like the
does the
really dope
strikes too.
kicks. Uh, th-
It's
ah, I feel like there's not really as like I don't know. I feel like there's just something missing with it.
Yeah, no, she's definitely not fulfilling the potential from actress. Like, I think her first few matches really sold everybody a dream she hasn't really got near. Um, Hina, thumbs up.
Yeah, always.
All right, we had Bozilla and Akira Kuragane beating Zones and Soy in 13.5 minutes. Bozilla pinned Soy with a reverse splash for the win. Yeah, I thought Bozilla was really, she had one of those like lazy performances where she didn't sell basically anything. And while I think she usually strikes a good balance, I was really annoyed by her in Zones where she was just shrugging off all of Zones' stuff. And I'm like, Zones is probably the one person in this match you should sell for, you know? Like, she is a power wrestler and a champion. You should be at least trying to make her look somewhat decent. So I thought Bozilla kind of went into her legend bag a little bit too much. She was like, I'm just not selling, and it's like, okay, Kandori can maybe get away with that, but I don't know if you can. So I usually just expect more of Bozilla. I thought she was kind of lazy in that sense in this one. But everybody else I thought did good. It was a fun match. Like, I enjoyed what Zones did. I enjoyed pretty much all of the Soy interactions. And the finishing stretch was cool. So, you know,
Yeah, I thought the match was good. But yeah, you know, Bose is kind
you
of like that.
I don't know.
I'm
She's
I
usually better at it.
I don't know. We also haven't been watching house shows. Um,
That's true.
so
Okay.
like,
You might be on something. I don't know. I
yeah,
felt really annoyed when she was like shrugging off Zones' stuff. I was like, Zones is a champion. Like, why are you not like selling for her at least?
you know,
Um,
I said this in private. I think people might get mad at me for saying this, but I think I have I'm kind of over the giant stuff in wrestling, just in general.
no,
Uh,
no, you
after
can't. Can't
after
be.
after watching so much, like after like just in Stardom, like Meg to Mozilla, it's been what 2 whole years straight of very focusing on the giant stuff. I think the thing is, and this is a really random poll. I've been watching some old JBL matches lately.
Okay,
Um,
no, that's fair.
and
Now this is
I
going.
realized that giants are so much more interesting when their gimmick isn't "I am a giant." Um, if you're
I
not Big
disagree.
Show, I don't really like that. You know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds really crazy, but like Chica Goto is a giant, but she gets pretty much exclusively beat up. Like she gets beat up so fucking much. Like she just gets fucking slaughtered. And it's kind of awesome because she just like she's a tank. She takes a shit ton of punishment and she sells it all. It all hurts her, but she withstands. Like that's cool. Fucking JBL was a chicken shit giant. Like he was a big dude, but he was a fucking pussy. Like that's awesome. Like yes, give me more of that. So I think in moments like this where like someone like Bozilla kind of just leans on being a giant to get her through a boring match she doesn't care about, it really just like stands out to me of like, dude, just God, this sucks sometimes. You know what I mean? Um,
No, this is wrestling 101. The
I
giant
know, and we need
is
to move past the first
101.
class, brother.
No, the
Sometimes we
classics are
need
the
to move
classics
on
for a
to fucking
reason.
wrestling 102, you know?
This
Sometimes we
isn't
need
this
sometimes
isn't
101
Shakespeare.
gets a
This is
bit
like actual 101. Like actual good stuff, like actual classics. The giant is always the giant. It just has to be done well. And it wasn't here.
exactly like it just at some point you kind of are just like, yeah, this is kind of
No, disagree.
overdone,
We're
especially when
always
it's not done well.
always here for the giant.
Hey, I like the Giant. Again, Big Show's my
Yeah,
guy.
all right, all right. Okay. You're gonna hate it when like some new host is coming up through NXT or Evolve, and I'm like, she's the best ever.
Like,
It's
well,
gotta
but that's what I
happen.
mean. Like, I think
It'll
Obafemi's
happen
cool.
soon.
Like I think Giants are good. Like, I appreciate Giants, but I also think that they have the tendency. and I have the ability to be super bland, like, and just like kind
Well,
of rest on their
maybe.
laurels because it is Wrestling 101. It is super easy
No,
to just
listen,
be
I get
big.
it. Not everybody can be Nia Jax. I understand.
Oh
She
my
sets the
fucking
bar
god.
so
Oh
high.
my god. What is
Not
wrong
everybody
with
can
you?
meet that
So
bar.
much is wrong with you.
She is a great
Ay,
talent.
Dios
She is a
mío.
fantastic pro wrestler. Like, you
Oh,
just don't know
brother.
ball. You don't know ball.
All
Just
right.
watch the Bailey matches. Watch every Bailey match. You will get
I'm
it.
gonna watch the Jade Cargo match and yell at you.
You can't blame me for Jade Cargill. Come on. That's not fair.
Who did you try
Um,
saying Jade Cargo was as good as?
uh, it was somebody Xavier likes.
Yuna. It was Yuna in Sendai.
Yeah.
And we were both like, you're just dumb. Like you're just a dumb
No,
person.
no, listen, even I've had to give up on the Jade Cargill thing. Even I can't defend that
And you
much
didn't get to see the Jajahuma tournament. Yuna literally had a better match than like literally any Jade match
Okay,
ever.
hold on. Jade
Period.
Cargill had that one heater with
Don't
Viper.
care. It
Alright,
was still better.
Viper is the workhorse. But anyway, our main event was Rani Agami beating Tai Hanma in just under 13 minutes with a beat strike. Fair play to Hanma for doing the business. This felt like a match you would enjoy, so I'm kind of intrigued on your perspective because I was like, this is such a Dylan match for basically the entire duration. So I'm gonna let you take the lead here.
It was good. I did
Yeah.
like it. It felt a bit like pretty simple. Like it was pretty quick, pretty, painless, I would say. I appreciate what they did in the time they had. How long did it go? You have the times.
12 minutes 40 seconds.
Really? It felt like it
Yeah.
was like 8.
No,
Yeah, it felt
I thought the
quite
main
short.
event was gonna go 8 minutes.
That's why I was confused. I was like, "Oh, that was quick. Okay." Um,
Really
but
not.
yeah, no, I thought it was good. I think Rana is an interesting wrestler because she can be sometimes a bit bland, but other times I kind of see her stuff and I'm just like, okay, but she just knows like what her style is and like like what she's going for here. Um, and I thought her and Taihama did quite well together. Uh, yeah, I thought it was good. I could see where you would think it was a Dylan match, but I thought it was good. I didn't think it was
All
a
right.
blow away, but I enjoyed it. And on a show like this where I thought it was a bit uh weaker. Like it was a pretty weak show ultimately. Um,
Mm.
I appreciated the main event being a fun little match. I think the two outside of Kikyo and Emma, I think the two singles matches were the better ones, which is kind of crazy because New Blood used to be like great tag matches. Like that was kind of the point.
Yeah. Well, they've kind of lost a lot of the people. So
Yeah, true.
um, yeah, that was New Blood. There's gonna be another one soon because there's 3 this month, as far as I remember. But they haven't announced any matches, I think, for the upcoming ones. Um, I guess we'll just touch on the winners here from the historic crossover in Gwangju. Ami Sourei got the pin for her team, which I think is important. Hanako obviously beat Aya Sakura, which we predicted. And then Suri Ano got the win for the Cosmic Angels in that match. And it's pretty small stuff, but those are 3 people that they obviously really like. I think Ami Sourei is somebody that's been pushed pretty consistently since coming back. Obviously they like Hanako, and Suri Ano is one of their kind of big names. So I think they were deliberate there in who they chose to get the pins.
Yeah.
Stomping, yeah, New
I,
Blood, 25. It's on the 17th, so yeah, this time.
yeah. We didn't see it, so
Yeah, no, I just wanted to touch on it because I feel like they probably did some sort of like, hey, we want this person to look good type stuff. Um,
yes.
we do have 2 matches to preview. Stardom is running Korakuen on the 11th, but as far as I'm aware, they haven't announced the card just yet. So that's fun. We do have Koguma versus Hazuki for the CMLL Japan Women's Championship. I don't know. I mean, Koguma might retain. It's hard to know because she
Yeah, I
kind
mean
of won it by ref stoppage. So
because it's not a double title match, it could like that does kind of make me think Koguma retains.
yeah,
Um, because you could just do a double title match and Hazuki wins and she's double champion. Boom. Like, and that's what they had proposed at first. So
yeah,
it's possible Koguma retains. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to just see FWC singles. It's been a while. Uh,
yeah.
I want to say the last time they did the singles, it was the Cindy a couple years ago. Um,
I have no idea.
and like Cindy matches are usually not that crazy anyway. So this will be the first real singles between them. If I'm not being completely dumb, let me check this out. Hold on a second. Um, I apologize, but yeah, I mean, I'm just happy that they're doing something. Frankly, we don't get much from them to the point where I don't even know if they're going to be in tag league, and that's kind of like the point. Um, yeah, so they haven't had a singles match since the 2022 semis of the Cindy,
Wow.
uh, and before lunch they only wrestled once in the singles, and it was Hazuki's return. So this is uh their third singles match. It's a rubber match because Koguma won. Koguma was in the finals of the Cinderella tournament. That's
Yes.
crazy. I totally forgot about that. Shout out to Koguma.
Hell yeah.
Adore her. But yeah, so this is a rubber match between them, and I'm excited to see it because yeah, it's been a while.
Okay. The other match then is a Goddess of Stardom Championship match. It is V1 for Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. They defend against Ami Sourei and Lady C. You're most likely going to have them retain. I think Lady
Mm.
C is kind of there for the pick and to lose the match. But I think that could be really good. I mean, like Lady C is always motivated, and this is probably the biggest match of her career. So I think she's going to really show out. And obviously, Ami Sourei did really good work with Rocca quite recently. So I feel like if they just lean into the strong pairings there, this could be a pretty great tag title match.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to just see BMI 2000 be champions and wrestle, have tag matches. Um, Honestly, after just talking about that match, I think that FWC should challenge them for
They
uh
will not.
the because they like I think they should challenge them for Crimson Nightmare so that they can just like fuck off and not do the tag league. Because
Maybe
I'll be way more
those two. I'm
annoyed.
pretty sure those two teams wrestled like 2 months ago, and it was a squash. So I don't think they
Yes,
would do it
that
again.
did happen. That did
Yeah,
happen.
I'm not.
Um,
I'm not certain they will run that back.
because I don't think FWC is winning the tag league or is again I don't even know if they're going to be in tag league. Uh, but I feel like that's a match you should run. Just get it out of the way. Give them a V2. Be good, But who
Mm,
knows? Yeah, like you said.
yeah. The only other thing to kind of touch on then is this weekend, Suzu Suzuki is wrestling Jun Kasai. That is on the Mochi Natsumi Produce event. God
Oh, is
knows if
that
we will
still on?
be able to watch.
Is that
That's a
still
good point.
happening?
It is still on their website, and I don't think she's been replaced. So I would assume it is. She was meant to be
Really?
back by now. Didn't they say the end of September? Um,
They said that for May, didn't they?
I thought
Miss
it was
Sarah.
Suzu as well. They just said she'd be out for the month of September, but
N- I
I
think it
don't know.
was May Sarah and Suzu was indefinite.
Mm, I don't know. She might be resting for this. This is her friend that she's gonna work the show for. I don't know. It's on the website, so I just thought I'd bring it up. Because I'm sure that would be fun if it does happen. I don't
Wait a
know if we'll
second.
ever see it though.
Wait,
What?
now I'm confused because they said Miss Sarah was going to be out for the month, and I was like, wait, she's been wrestling all month.
I
That's
don't
crazy.
know.
Strange. Yeah, I don't know. They're weird about that. I think it was indefinite for Suzu, but yeah, we'll see. Um, she's been doing promo and stuff, but
Mm.
not for them Natsumi thing. So who knows?
Okay. Um, and that is all we're gonna talk about because I don't think they have cards for the house shows anyway. Um, so we're gonna move on to Marigold, who were very busy this past week because of Friday Night Gacha and Monday Night Magic. It's a very interesting world we live in. God knows how I'm going to find the Gacha show, actually, now that I think about it. Because I don't think Cage Match had it as Gacha. Might have been something else.
Yeah, it
Um,
wasn't.
it
It's on
also only goes
Marvelous
back
though.
3 days.
It's Marvelous.
It's Marvelous. Okay,
Yeah,
Marvelous. I'm gonna have to Google. I'm
it
gonna
is
have
on
to
there.
search Marvelous in Cage Match. Because
Marvelous. That's women's pro wrestling.
hell yeah. It's really funny that that's the name. Why does every Joshi company have like the most fucked name possibly ever. Oh
It's
yeah,
King
Marvelous
Gacha.
King Gacha.
King Gacha.
I'm
Or
pretty sure it's
Gacha.
called Friday Night Gacha, but either way,
It is called Friday Night
um,
Gacha.
that show opened with the surprise Mayu Iwatani versus Senka Akatsuki match. Right out the gate on a pretty strong show, all things considered. Very good match. I mean, it's Mayu, it's Senka. You know, they did exactly what you would expect of them. And Nagayo afterwards said that as soon as this match got pulled from the GP, she had asked if she could do it for her gacha show and got the thumbs up. So it's a good thing we got the match in the end because yeah, this was a very good addition to Senka's catalog, which is already pretty stellar.
Yeah, no, I agree. I liked it. Senka's great, frankly. Mai's
Yeah.
obviously really, really good. Uh, how 8 minutes? Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, I thought it was a good
Mhm.
match. I quite liked it.
All right. Nothing else for us on that show. Although the tag match in the semi main was pretty great. Rina Yamashita and Takumi Iroha gave me a new lease on life for a little bit. So that was good.
I thought Spike did great as well. I know
Yes.
that's me,
Spike is
but
awesome. Spike is very
I brought
talented.
this up. I was watching her because and this is kind of I guess the, I'm guessing we're not talking about Jajuma because you
I
said
was
you didn't
gonna
get to
skip
finish
over
your
it
show.
because I don't fully remember everything.
I
But
haven't.
you can take
Um,
it away if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, so briefly about Spike, she is a lot better against like actual like higher level wrestlers. Shocker,
Yeah.
I know, but not in like a oh she's good when she gets carried, but in like a she felt like she was on Miko Wada's level in their match,
Mm,
and like maybe not like that sounds a bit much, but she like was really like good at the back and forth against Miko Wada. But then when she wrestled like Soy and Yuki Funa, the matches weren't particularly good. Um, but yeah, over on Jajauma, Rhea Seto beat Sorayame and then lost to Yuna in the second round. Um, like I said earlier, or alluded to earlier, Yuna versus Rhea Seto, really fucking good.
mm,
Really loved that match. Thought they did great work together. Obviously, not really surprising. They are classmates. They debuted on the same show, uh, maybe against each other. If I'm
probably.
not,
Most
I
likely.
think they debuted against each other. So yeah, it's kind of it really made Yuna look great and Rhea looked awesome. I'm bummed she lost, but also she got her heat back after the match and kind of was like, I'm gonna fucking beat you one of these days. So I imagine they do
Yeah.
end up running that again because the match was very, very good. Uh, and yeah, otherwise it's like Sanka had a good match in the main event against Kanai. Rian had a very good match against Maria Kuga, who is
That
awesome, by
is
the
yeah,
way.
Maria Kuga is one of my favorites in Japan right now.
She's so fucking good. Maria Kuga, that is, and Rian.
You know
Rian
what?
did a very good
I
job.
will definitely go out of my way to see Kanai and Emma Mashima. That sounds pretty cool.
That was also very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was a good show. Outside of the Yuki Funa match against Spike, I thought that was definitely the weakest on the card.
Yeah, Yuki is an
Um,
interesting one. She's very rough around the edges.
yes, that's what I picked up. They really did not click. Like there was like just several instances where they just weren't, on the level with each other, just didn't work.
Yeah.
Um, And then like the first couple matches were a bit weaker just because they just weren't anything
Mm.
crazy. But yeah, Mishima versus Kanai, and then the final three matches were all really good. So I
Okay.
do recommend
That's
checking
cool.
them out.
Yeah, because
And
everybody
then the
we
the
would talk
final
about
was
was
kind of
eliminated
awesome.
very easy, very early. So
Yes, true. It is a bummer because
Rian,
the
Rhea, and Emma all went out in the first two rounds. So
yeah, and it is a bummer because the finals will probably be really good. Um,
yeah,
like the semis and the finals because it's gonna be Spike versus Maria Kuga and Yuna
awesome.
versus Sanka. So
That was even more awesome. Okay.
I'm kind of looking at a Spike Sanka final, and I think that's
Ooh.
fucking beast.
Yeah. Yeah,
Kuga,
Koga. Let's get Koga. Koga
yeah,
Senka.
yeah.
It's a dream match.
So yeah, great tournament. I'm so happy they've brought this back the past couple years.
Mm.
Um, I always look forward to it. I have a ton of fun. Uh, yeah. So that's my little spiel about the Josh Uma. Go check it out.
Okay. All right. On Monday Night Magic, then we as Joshi fans saved the show because oh my god, that card.
It wasn't
When
good. Yeah,
Mai Utani, Seri Yamaoka, and Utami Hayashishita went to a 20-minute draw with Mio Momono, Senka Akatsuki, and Takumi Iroha. insane lineup and a very, very good, great match. Legitimately just one of the high end trios matches from the Joshi scene this year. Like every pairing worked. I think the Mayu pairing off with Mio was good. Mio dumping Utami on her head was good. The Takumi Utami stuff was good, and then Seri and Senka just took us home. Like they got a lot of the focus, and they deserved it because they were really, really good together. Um, this is great. You can tell by the fact it has a 9+ on cage match from mostly
That's
probably people who
crazy.
watch Noah, like
Yeah.
mostly people who probably are very new to this, and they're like, "Holy shit, these Joshi girls are awesome." Um, yeah, no, this was fantastic. Probably the highlight of Monday Magic because it always peaks on episode one, with the Joshi stuff. But yeah, this
Usually,
Marigold
yeah.
Marvelous stuff is undoubtedly one of the best parts of Marigold.
It's one of the best parts of Joshi this year, period, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I love the match. I thought it was awesome. It's actually funny because last week I was talking to Xavi about what like our dream Joshi matches are like right now. Like what's the
Hmm.
best Joshi match you could put together? And it was almost this match. Um, it was swap out Sari and Senka with better wrestlers, pretty much. But they
Not
stole the
possible.
show here. So, well, it is possible because I
Mm.
swapped Senko with Chihiro Hashimoto. So it's like, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that's
Um,
not fair.
I swapped Sari with Hazuki. That was my
Mm,
brainchild.
okay.
Um, but because they all train together,
Yeah.
Mayu,
Yeah.
Hazuki, and Utami. Uh, Yeah, so I thought this match was fucking awesome. It was 20 minutes of goodness. It was very marvelous paced, not
Yeah.
very Marigold paced. So it was sort of not hard to like, but I was kind of expecting it's like, oh, Mayu and Utami are here. This is gonna be like a Marigold style tag, and it was a marvelous style tag, which is sometimes better, sometimes worse. I thought it worked for this match for sure. Uh, yeah, I thought this match was tremendous. I loved what Utami was able to do with Mio and Takumi. Um, and then yeah, I mean Mayu and Mio was awesome. The brief moments of Mayu and Takumi was awesome, and Mayu and Senka
Mm,
also really good. Sari did great. And I just loved that it all flowed super well. It all
yeah.
felt like it was a constant team battle. It wasn't because that was kind of what I was worried about. It's like you look at this match, it's like, okay, there's obvious pairings here. Um, it's going to be Utami Takumi, it's going to be Mayu and Mio, and it's going to be Sari and Senka. And while Sari and Senka was a big part of it, and we did get a fair amount of each of those pairings, there was enough both tag, like uh, you know, team moves, and there
Yeah.
was enough like Utami versus Mio, which was really cool, and there was enough Mayu and Takumi, which is always awesome to see run back. And Sanka got in there with Utami, and they did a couple of like Haas stuff, and like I felt like it was a constant flow instead of like a preview tag, quote unquote, which I think really let it be more than just a any given tag match and made it such a legitimately great match. So yeah, I thought it was awesome. Would have loved for it to be like the main event. Would have loved to have for it to have a finish, but I get it, and I get it.
Yeah.
So I mean, like ultimately, the hardcore title is the world title of Monday Magic.
Yeah, well, it
So
is called the Extreme Season, so kind
yeah,
of
that too.
it has to
So
be.
even though I'm not a big Hayata fan, him main eventing made sense because he's the world champion of Monday Magic, effectively. So
Mhm.
uh, I get it. But even even though Zawa was like by far the best match of the night, was the Joshi trios match. I was like, he gets it.
Offense to them, but imagine going from the Barcelona blacklist to
Yeah, that was weird
Mayu,
because
Seri, and Utami.
I was like going through the show. I was like, oh, I'll see what I'll watch, and I ended up watching the Great Mummy and Shuei Taniguchi tag.
I had a feeling you would do that.
Because I love, to be fair, I love Shuhei Taniguchi. Problem is, Leona sucks, and Tetsumi Fujinami's like the oldest man alive. And the Great Mummy, I think was Manabe. I don't know. Somebody has to tell me who the Great Mummy was, because it's always someone different. Um, but yeah, it wasn't good.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna not watch, not watch this random, uh, gigantic schmaz of a tag with all rebellion. I
Yeah,
think I'll just skip to the Joshi.
made a good choice. Danny Duggan over here. I feel like I remember that name, but
I've
I
definitely
genuinely
heard of
couldn't
that name
tell you.
before, yeah.
But yeah, that was Monday Magic. There was some interesting stuff afterwards. Mio kind of said, "Hey, I do still want Mayu's Superfly belt, by the way. Don't forget that." And Takumi slapped the shit out of Seri and or Senka and was like, "You keep telling me you're going to be better, and you can't beat this girl. Like you have to do it. Stop saying you're going to do it and do it." So it's kind of very interesting to see that Takumi is now kind of getting a bit more aggressive in her desire to beat Marigold. She's just kind of like, guys, you got to get your shit together. Like, I'm not letting you lose anymore. Like, you have to start winning. So that's kind of interesting as a path to go. It obviously spills to the Takumi Senka title match that's happening soon, which is going to be probably an instant classic. But yeah, they just weaved together a lot of stuff there and reminded us that the Marigold stuff with Marvelous is gonna keep happening, which is very good because it's probably the best stuff going. Um, Now I don't think there was any news otherwise to discuss. I'm trying to think of like announcements, but there's nothing. We will have the card for Sumo Hall announced on the 9th. So very awkward for us because the show is going to release, and then a day later we're going to have the full card for Sumo Hall. We're going to have to wait till next Tuesday to talk about that, but what can we do? So we're just going to review the one show that happened this past week. This was
What's
Marigold
the
Battleheart.
what is your prediction? What's your out there prediction of a match that's gonna be made?
Truly, I don't know because just about everybody key is booked, and there's also four single matches. If my mind isn't completely losing it, so I don't know how many more they're gonna have. I think maybe you get an Aroha Gochka, maybe, um, but I don't know really.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that they haven't put any Marvelous on the card. Maybe
Yeah,
they'll put them in like an undercard
Nat
gimmick.
and Cork, and they're just completely absent. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a Marvelous show that day? But then it turns out there's a Sendai Girls show that day, and Chihiro's doing double duty, so it doesn't
Oh,
really
right.
matter.
Okay.
Um, 'Cause she's a beast. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Uh, we shall see. I wonder.
Yeah.
I hope Chen Yoda gets on it. That's my big
That'll be
one.
fun.
Is she's really been putting in a lot of work this year. I
I would
think she
like
should
Emi
get.
Sakura on it. She's doing her 30th anniversary stuff
I
around
don't
this
think she's
time.
allowed to.
Mhm. Yeah, though that's kind of the shit part, but I definitely wish she could just as part of her
Man, fuck
anniversary.
AEW.
Oh yeah. All right. Uh we have the one shot review. Marigold Battleheart, day 4 of the tour. This was in the Utsunomiya Bunka Kaiken. As far as I'm aware, they didn't announce an attendance even on the report for the show. They were like, "No, we're not giving you a number," which is totally fair because this is a weird looking venue, and I'm not sure if they use even 100 people that can sit in there. But you know what? We're here for the good times. So the show opened with Rhea Seto beating Megaton. Um,
No, it didn't.
did it not? Where's the
It
opening
opened
match
with
going?
Nao Ishikawa and Hummingbird.
Oh, cage matches in the wrong order. Now Ishikawa beat Hummingbird in just under 9 minutes. This was a very solid opener. They just kind of went
Yeah.
through the motions and did the thing. I respect now she's trying to like shoot her own angles in the backstage comments. She was like, "Yeah, Hummingbird said she was gonna beat me in the summer, but now it's October and you still haven't beat me." And I was like, "Dude, there's no way Rossi heard or remembered any of that." So fair play to now for trying to make something work. But yeah, this was just a match and it was solid at best.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. Um,
Yeah,
you know, I'm happy. I think Hummingbird excels in just straight singles matches, so I'm always happy when she gets to get beat in a straight singles match instead of a three-way because those usually don't end well. Um, yeah, it was fun.
okay. Reyes Seto then beat Megaton in just under 6 minutes. This is cool.
That was
Megaton
fine.
showed up with a cloud on her head and the crowd was into it. And then she actually
Rhea
did a lot
started
of
beating her with it.
offense. Yeah, and then kind of Rhea just came back and beat her. It was a lot better than their last match.
Oh,
Really love
definitely.
Megaton. I think she's just great. She's so entertaining. She's always trying shit. And I think on a roster where a lot of people kind of blend in, she stands out. And so, big praise towards Megaton. That's all.
Yeah, I thought. I really, I'm a big fan of the fact that everybody beats her with a submission and that she taps out immediately to
Yeah.
any submission she's put in.
Yes.
I mean, even she was in a tag match with Gochka, and they got put in like a pair of Boston Crabs, and Megaton immediately tapped down. Gochika's like, "The fuck's wrong with you? Stop! Stop!"
Mhm.
Because Gochika was the legal man, or woman
Funny.
rather. So yeah, I don't know. I appreciate that through line of Megaton just constantly getting beat with submission holds. And yeah, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was any. Uh, I thought it was fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this card is completely out of order on Cage Match.
Mhm.
Because it says next was Mirai, but I thought it was
Oh,
Darkness
yeah,
Revolution.
Dark's Revolution was next. Yep.
Yeah, so this is great. So Darkness Revolution, Chiaki Misamatsui and Nagisa Nozaki beat Kazuna Tanaka, Manami Yuki, and Nagisa Tachibana. This got good by the end. You know, the starting
Yep.
heel stuff was whatever, and then they kind of kicked it into high gear, and it was good.
Yeah, I like this match. I thought it was enjoyable for sure. Um, I just I like the people in this match and how they work together. I think Yuki Minami is great against Darkness Revolution. I think Kazuna Tanaka is always great against Nozaki. Maybe not always great, but usually great against Nozaki. And I think Tachibana is, excuse me, also very good as just like that comeback babyface. So I think even though you might look at the babyface team and be like, oh, this is kind of they all kind of lose and are particularly threatening. I think that they all fit for a Darkest Revolution tag very well, and it made it a fun match. And yeah, I like Darkness Revolution. Hot take, I know.
So after that match, Misa Matsui and Chiaki challenged for the Twin Star Championships. So that's likely going to be added to Sumo Hall. Probably as a pivot from Twin Tower,
Hmm.
taking
For sure.
on because obviously, I mean, your only choice was putting Yuki Minami in that spot, and I guess they decided against that, which is totally fair. You know, Chiaki is kind of the perfect person for like a short V2 until January or February when you can belt up Twin Tower. So yeah, that's kind of how Rossi operates. If he can't do his plan A, he'll just pivot slightly and then do his plan B, his plan A in 3 months. He doesn't kind of change course entirely. He just kind of goes around in a loop for a little bit. So yeah, we'll
Yeah, I
get
mean,
there
I
in the
could I could see Darkest Revolution winning the belts and then dropping them to Twin Tower too.
end.
Um, because I mean, they're a fine transitional championship
Yeah.
team. If they want the belts off of Magenta, which I wouldn't really blame them. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would like it. I mean, we were talking about putting Chiaki and Misamatsui in this title match before Twin Tower even reunited. Uh,
Mhm.
so I would like them to win. I think that they should win. I'm a big fan of Chiaki just being like the constant tag champion, like just being a 10-time tag champion by the time it's over, with a total of like 5 successful defenses.
Yeah.
Like that's realistically probably where we're going, but I think she's really good, specifically in 2-on-2s. So I don't see why not. But yeah, I think that's a smart move. Um, the Chiaki Maria thing works as well. Uh, so yeah, but I think
Yeah.
it kind of needs you kind of need Chiaki and Misa to win
Mm.
because the problem with Darkest Revolution is that it's like there's a home team here, uh, but they're still heels. So their heelism needs to be like rewarded and not uh reprimanded, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like similar to the beginning of the year, except Bozilla and Tank were not good, and Magenta is at least good. But like doing a heel versus heel, you kind of have to make the good heels look good and the bad heels look bad, if that makes sense. I think that was the problem earlier this year. Was
Well,
that
the problem was that the Tank was a random nobody, and they
exactly?
squashed
Yes, this is true.
the Twin Star champions, who were also heels, so there was no
But we're
beneficiary.
but we're liked heels, well liked
Kind of,
heels.
but even still, nobody benefited because you
No,
squashed heels, and you were also heels. But I'm not a big fan of the Twin Stars on the big pay per views because they weren't on the Yoyogi show, and the other two are heel versus heel matches. So not great for the Twin Stars, which initially were kind of a big beacon for the company. It's
wait,
kind
the
of just
other two
replaced by my this
has
one in
hasn't.
January.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I was gonna say they didn't have a really poor
Yeah,
track record,
yeah.
unfortunately. And it's funny because the Twin Stars are like the best belts in the company, historically. Like
Yeah,
they have the highest hit rate of pretty much any belt.
but
Um,
not anymore.
yeah.
Now they just kind of slide Mayu in when they need to sell tickets. So,
Well, yeah, that's true.
who needs twin star belts? Um, our next
Not on
match
Korakuens. Wait, you're talking about? It don't matter. Let's move on.
Our next match was Komomo Manami and Seri Yamaoka beating Yuka Yamazaki and Mirai in 30 seconds. Komomo rolled up Yuka Yamazaki with the Komo clutch. Mirai looked dumbfounded at this and asked for a rematch, which then saw Komomo and Seri beat Yuka and Mirai once again in 13 minutes. This time, Manami pinned Mirai with the Komo clutch. Um, I think the first thing is that obviously the result is huge. Komo Manami pinning Mirai is very purposeful. Seri was right there, and if they wanted to give Seri the win, they would have. But I think them deciding to give Manami the win is one of those things that Rossi tends to do a lot of the time,
Yeah,
where
the gold
somebody will
watch.
gold
Hmm.
watch for Manami.
Yeah, well, because she's been there the longest. That's what I meant. Like,
Well, I don't know. I guess I think it's more of a sign that they will eventually get behind her. It's kind of like I don't think they would do that
yeah,
just to
I
do it. Like they would just have Seri win if they really wanted
yeah,
to.
but I think there was probably like a part of it where it's like Komama was Mirai's trainee, Mirai's first trainee. Um, and so there's like the seniority aspect kind of played a role in that, which you know that just made me sad actually to think about that. Yeah, Komama was Mirai's first trainee, uh, and the
Technically,
first person she debuted, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's a bummer. Mirai's gone, but yeah, so
yeah.
I'm happy she got the win there. Uh,
And the
and yeah,
match
I
was
do
very
think it's
good.
indicative. Oh yeah, that was a very good match, but I think it is
Um,
indicative of something happening. I will say it's a bit of a bummer. I don't see anything in Komomo's future for for this pay per view. Um,
yes,
at best, like she wins a battle royal. I think is
mm.
kind of what we would hope
It's
for.
kind of on the long finger as a potential Superfly, but even still,
There's
you're
like
talking
four
maybe two
potential
champions away.
superflies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did like that. I did like her and Seri as a team. I thought they worked
Mm.
really well together. I wouldn't mind a twin star challenge from them. Um, I also liked the Sarah Yuka stuff. They have great chemistry. Like every time they step in the ring together, I think they do well. Like they're gonna have a rookie of the year final, and it's gonna be really, really good. They're just gonna deliver in the main event of Face, and I can't wait for that. But yeah, like Mirai turned it on for this. She was very good as well. Like she
Yeah.
was so uh kind of mediocre in the Grand Prix, and ever since then she's been like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm gonna try my shit now because there was one lariat where she just knocked Komomo on her neck, and I was like, where was this? Where has this been? So yeah, just all around very good match from everybody involved. Very good performances.
Yeah, no, I agree. I quite liked it. I said this yesterday that I was very slow with this match. I realized halfway through I was like, oh wait, Mirai did debut all three of these people
Yeah,
over the past year and a half. Um, so yeah, I thought that
lore
yeah, lore as they say, but good lore, not meaningless lore. Uh,
themed lore.
yeah, good. What is it? Spirit lore. Uh,
I don't
uh,
know.
uh, what's Mirai's thing? Her
Soul.
soul lore. Yeah.
Yeah, forgot the soul.
I thought, well, I said spirit, but I was like, that's not right. I think that's
No, yeah.
somebody else. Yeah.
Um. Anyway,
Kenny, thanks for specifically.
we got onto our main event. Victoria Yuzuki, Miko Aono, and Mai Utani beat Chikugoto, Mai Sakurai, and Utami Hayashishita. Aono beat Utami in just under 22 minutes with a Styles clash. This was a great match. It like started well and then just kept going better and better. And I think the Yuzuki Mai pairing especially was fantastic. They were just like Yuzuki at one point threw Utami into the corner like she was a piece of shit and was like, give me my," and I was like, hell, fucking yes. Um, like that is exactly the kind of shit I want to see. I want to see you beef with your ops. And then they were just slapping the shit out of each other, and it was fantastic. Like they really lit the fuse for their UN title match. That in kind of a very Julia esque way. Like this was the most Julia preview I've seen in a for a Marigold title match. Like it was just Mai and Yuzuki doing a lot of the Julia hits, and they work. They really do. It's easy to get into the intensity of a feud when they're both just beating the shit out of each other. Um, I was just really, really impressed with Yuzuki Mai stuff. I think that was the best stuff of the match. Mayu and Chico was really fun. Like Mayu getting chopped and being like, "Ow, that hurts." And then Iono and Utami kind of did what they do. They did the shoulder bumps and they did some of the counters wrestling. And then Iono like kicked Utami in the face, and that was awesome. And I like the finish. I think Iono beating Utami is cool, and her saying, "I'm going to win every preview tag. I'm going to establish dominance." I thought that was very good too. So very
This
effective
is
main
all
event.
leading. This is all leading to Tommy beating her in the fucking middle of the ring and staying out at ringside to watch Io versus Mayu with the world title in hand.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Gotta let the gotta let her do something. But
This is
anyway,
this is very random. Marufuji said that his dream match as a woman, or his intergender dream match was Nanai, and I was like, you couldn't have fucking made that
didn't that?
happen before she retired, you fucker.
I was about to say,
Um,
didn't that happen? But she wrestled Go. She
yeah, she
wrestled
wrestled Go.
Cheetah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But because they just met for lunch the other
Oh,
day,
fun.
I saw
Okay.
that on Instagram
Um.
as I was scrolling.
Right.
But yeah, so the match was very good. I was a bit lower on it than you were, just because I thought it was good. It was very, very good. Um, but yeah, I liked all of it pretty much.
Okay.
Hottest take. I still love the Mayu and Gochika rivalry. I
Yeah,
think
it's very good.
I think the that Gochika like immediately gets to the center of the ring and Mayu's like, ah, man, I don't want to do this. I think that's always a good bit. Really like Gochika's hair, by the way. She's got the long
Yeah,
hair. She looks very pretty.
good.
Um, yeah, everybody did well. I
Okay.
really liked Utami and Miku. Really liked Maya and Yuzuki. Uh, yeah, I'm expecting very good matches from everybody involved in this match at Sumo Hall.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Utami was arguably the weakest person in the match says a lot
See, I
because
I
everybody else
was
was just
waiting
so strong.
for you to say this. Um, no, I thought Utami did great as well.
Kind
She's
of.
kind of just she was the base to get beat up by Mayu and Miku mainly.
Yeah, I guess. But anyway, that was that show. Fun little show. Two good tag matches on that one. And I would definitely highly recommend if you're a Yuzuki doubter, the interactions with Mai, they might turn you around because it was badass. Her just like throwing Utami out and being like, give me the champ. I want my champ. That was
We
awesome.
see Izuki has brain damage,
Yes,
and it
so
makes her
she
a
so
better
she said.
wrestler.
This is totally yeah. I mean, yeah, I get it. Um, those ex football players with CTE
Fell
were
out of a fucking
definitely
tree.
big stars.
That's just crazy.
I like how casually she seemed to mention it as well. She was like, "Yeah, I must have had a crazy fall," and it was like, "You literally didn't remember anything."
Yeah,
Um,
she was like in a coma for a couple
yeah,
days or something.
like
Like that's what it
holy
implied. I
shit,
was like, holy fuck.
yeah,
And then she had to wear a fucking bicycle helmet around, like
it's
to
crazy.
rest, like to on vacation and shit.
Yeah,
I was like, that's
crazy.
wild.
Um, we have two shows to preview for Marigold. The first is on the 11th in Osaka 176 box, which means we have the return of Miss Penguin. We
Woo!
open with Naoshikawa versus Megaton. Sure,
Oh,
Naoshikawa gets that dub. Another Naoshikawa dub. She's been getting them wins. Maybe Naoshikawa season is
is
upon
this
us.
is this gonna be now Chicago
I
or is
hope
it going to
so.
be the Gigaton?
I don't really know. They forgot the Gigaton. Remember she cost Megaton a Korakuen match and disappeared?
Yes,
Like,
which
where
is
did she go?
why I think this is like the one time it would make sense to actually bring out Gigaton
No,
to
no,
finish
not
that
gonna do that in
story.
Osaka. Not
Finish
gonna
the
do that
story like
in
your Cody
Osaka.
Rhodes.
No, no. Um,
Maybe that's what they're gonna add to the card is Gigaton versus Megaton at Sumo Hall.
Flying Penguin and Hummingbird, the bird team, take on
Birdies.
Misamatsui and Chiaki. That's a win for your twin star challengers.
I would hope, yeah. We'll see
Um,
who they pin though. That's a good question.
that's a good point. They're doing a lot of Rhea Seto singles matches recently. They're doing her versus Mai later this month as well because she's against Kazuna on this show.
Hmm, that'll be
Um,
interesting.
yeah, so it's a win for Rhea,
Maybe
maybe.
maybe Rhea beats Mayu. Like heavy bullshit involved, but
I would be so against that.
I know you would be.
I don't think you guys know how much I can become a hater. You guys don't know how much I
Oh,
can
well, I
hate
know.
something.
I've
I
been
will
there.
turn into the biggest Marigold hater overnight. Like it's
Which is funny because you keep bitching about the youngins not challenge for the Superfly.
yeah, but not her.
See, fuck you, man.
Like not her.
It's ridiculous.
If you pitch Kazuna, I'd be like, sure, maybe. But Rhea, as she
Well,
is,
I
I
don't know if
don't
you
know.
know this, it's kinda hard to pin Mayu Iwatani clean. Uh,
Nah, I disagree. I could do it. Sure.
how the fuck do you mean
I've been
technique?
watching my Umaga tapes. I would hit the Samoan spike. She would be like, "Ah, my neck,"
Oh my
and
god.
I'd win. I would win. The Samoan spike
No, you
is
wouldn't,
unbeatable. Yeah, I would.
bro.
The
You would
Samoan
get her up to
spike.
the Samoan spike and she'd fucking get you in a Rana, bro. She'd break your neck. Your knees are
I
already
wouldn't
fucked.
lift her.
Like, I don't know what you expect here.
I wouldn't lift her. I would just do the spike, Solo Sokoa
Yeah,
style.
alright.
It
Oh,
just like
okay, okay,
jams it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were talking about Umaga tapes. You meant Solo Sikoa tapes. That makes
Yeah.
more
No, I
sense.
mean, I would take Umaga's spirit and like his moves and shit.
The spirit of Umaga, not the actual
Yeah.
technique, but the spirit of Umaga.
Maybe
Alright,
some
man.
good moves, but not the
Bro,
spike. Not the
bro,
spike.
the whitest human being of all time, Alex Richards showing up with the Umaga face paint.
Oh man.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
All right. Our next match is Nagisa Tachibana and Komomo Minami beating Chikigoto and Yuki Minami. Um,
Beating?
I don't know.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Maybe it will.
I think
Chikagoto
Coach
she can
I
beat
think Gojo.
Nagisa.
Oh, wait, it don't matter. I think Gochika's winning, yeah.
Okay, all right. Young Goat is back. Shino teams with Mai Sakurai, Mayu Utani, and Utami Hayashishita to take on Miko Aono, Victoria Yuzuki, Yuki Yamazaki, and Seri Yamaoka.
They always
Um,
put in Shino in, like, the craziest matches.
yeah, well, they know she's the young goat. That's why. I mean, if Iona's going to live up to her promise, then she's going to beat Utami again.
Sure.
Unless they do the Mirai build again, where Utami pins her this time, and is like, "Yeah, I'm also good," but that would suck. So maybe don't do that.
Now that you said that, I think that's probably what's gonna happen.
I hate it here. We did have the Mirai All Star Gauntlet. So she's going to wrestle the roster in 1 minute intervals. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
Um, are we going to see any surprises? Do you think? I don't really know
Osaka?
who associated with
Probably
Mirai
not.
available anyway. No.
I mean, she's just becoming freelance. It's not like you're just retiring on the spot.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I think the surprise would be
Gulia. She's definitely not. They're not flying her to Osaka for that.
yeah, no, I don't think it would be any because like I could see the surprise being like if there was gonna be a surprise, it would be like somebody who's associated with Marigold. Like it would be like Nanai, but Nanai's not coming out of
Yeah.
retirement for this. Or it would be like Jungle Kiona, but she doesn't know Mirai. Like they aren't
Mm,
a thing, you know. But like something like that. So
yeah.
I don't expect any surprises really.
She got you.
Maybe like if her and Riara was really tight, but I don't think Riara's a really like a surprise that would make much sense there.
No.
Um, yeah, so
Oh,
probably not.
okay. Um, we then have on the 13th, Marigold Battleheart 2025 in Korakuen Hall. We open with Now Ishikawa versus Hummingbird versus Megaton. Now Ishikawa just beat both of these and will now be facing them again. Um, I don't know. Hummingbird can win, maybe.
Inshallah.
All right. Chikagoto and Yuki Minami versus Misamatsui and Rei Seto. That's probably a win for Darkness Rev.
Yep.
Is this Shino's first match in Korakuen? Because she's on this. I don't know if she's been on a Korakuen before.
I think it is.
Yeah. So this is a young Marigold clash. It is Nagisa Tachibana, Victoria Yuzuki, and Kizuna Tanaka versus Komomo Minami, Yuka Yamazaki, and Shino. You probably have Yuzuki pin somebody there because she's Yuzuki. She's challenging for the UN.
Yeah, this is her first Korakuen match. Wow.
It's fun.
Um,
Good match to debut in.
hold on, I need to see the lineup. I'm getting it up on my
Okay.
phone. Um, yeah, I think Yuzuki could win this one, like that from what I remember of what you just said. Uh, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to get right if they want to get Shino a win. So Shino over Tachibana is also a
Yeah.
possibility.
I don't know. I think Yuzuki probably just wins.
That would make the most sense, but Tachibana is the least protected of the bunch, and since it's Shino's first, uh,
They probably don't do much with Shino though until she's going to be around.
but
Like, I
this
don't
is also
see.
a preview to Shino versus Kazuna. That's the only preview that this
Oh,
is.
that's true. Yeah. Okay.
So I
Well,
wouldn't be surprised if Shino gets the win.
yeah, that'd be
Over.
fun.
Honestly, it could be over Kazuna or Tachibana if Kazuna's winning against Shino,
Yeah.
which is possible. But
Mm,
yeah,
okay. Um, Tamihashita and Chanyota take on Miko Ono and Arina Yamanaka.
I like that.
That is very good. I do wonder if it goes to a draw or if they do Iono or no, it'll probably be Utami over Arena. Um, yeah, either a draw or Utami beats Arena, probably.
Yeah, or Miku, or you know what? Actually, I think this is where Utami would pin Miku. I don't think she would pin her
I
on
don't
the
know.
Osaka show. If we're
Mm,
doing like the more of a like the back and forth, I think this is where Utami get her win.
Possibly. I don't know though. I don't know if I would have her pin Iono before the Sumo Hall, but interesting builds and Utami don't really go together, so that's yeah.
Fuck you.
Um, we have Mirai last O match. Mirai and Mai Sakurai take on Chiaki and Nagisa Nozaki. In an ideal world, I mean Nozaki
Chiaki
beats.
pins
Yeah,
Mirai.
if they're fully in elevation mode, then yes, Chiaki over Mirai. But it's most likely Nozaki over Mirai.
Yeah. Funnily
Yeah.
enough, I think Mirai's like most notable rivalry throughout her run was against Miku, but second to that has been against Chiaki and
Well,
Darkest Revolution in
I
general.
think Nozaki is the one with the more obvious matches.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
had the GP match on the last day, like twice, I
yeah.
think.
They
So
have had two GP
yeah,
matches. They had some tags.
that's
Yeah,
kind of the
I mean,
one.
I think Chiaki should beat her because Chiaki
Yeah.
works here, but uh, and also that was the first match. That was the first Mirai match in Marigold history, and I
Mhm.
think it would be cool to kind of get that back. Um, I hope this match is good. I really uh liked the match they had last year. It was
Yeah.
dope. Um, and yeah, it's a bummer. Mirai's leaving. She'll be missed. Um, especially in these tag slots with my Sakurai.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I think that's one of the biggest bummers is that my Sakurai is gonna drop the white belt and she's not gonna have like her go-to tag partner. She's still gonna have Chan Yoda hopefully, but
Yeah.
uh, her and Mirai just really clicked with on that tag run that they had. So
Mhm.
it'll be really a bummer for me as a my Sakurai fan, as a Mirai Saku fan in general. This is the last one, but yeah, she'll be
Okay.
missed.
Our main event then is the Superfly Championship. Mai Iwatani defends against Seri Yamaoka. This is going to be Mayu getting a win back. They're going to 50-50 from the GP. And, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with
Yep,
that.
I agree.
Okay. And that's both shows this weekend. That's pretty much us done. But we've only got an hour and 10. So I thought up a thing we could discuss if you want to stay and do that.
Down.
Okay. So
I
I
don't know
want
what
to,
this is though, so I'm a bit
yeah.
terrified.
Well, I was going to say we can list our three favorite matches ever. Because why the hell not?
The
We've been on a
fuck?
bit of a run like that.
Oh boy.
We could
Okay.
list out our top three matches ever, not just Joshi, like anything you want. So you might need some time to think.
I
I don't
don't.
know. No? Okay. Do you want to go?
Um. Oh, I three. I have a
Yeah,
top 5 that I'm pretty comfortable with.
you can do 2 honorable mentions and then your top 3.
Okay. Well, my two honorable mentions are both death matches.
Okay,
It's Toyota versus Kudo
of
from the
course.
7th anniversary. Um, and it is El Desperado versus Jun Kasai in 2022,
Mm,
the first one. Um, both of those are like matches that deeply moved me emotionally and just from a, like it really like they really changed how I looked at wrestling and how I looked at hardcore wrestling because I actually grew up watching a lot of hardcore wrestling. I mean, I had the like the Falls Count Anywhere and the TLC and all these like WWE DVDs um that were all about hardcore wrestling.
mm.
Uh and weapons based matches, plunder matches and bloody matches like that was always my thing growing up. I mean, I started watching CCW when I was 10, like
Yeah.
way too young, like 10, maybe 11. Um, so I've always been a big like hardcore match fan and a big death match fan, but both the first time I watched Kudo versus Toyota and when I got to watch Eldest Bravo versus Jun Kasai, those both like radically changed the way I looked at uh hardcore matches in completely different ways, funnily enough. Like Kudo and Toyota was the first time I really recognized a match as like, oh wow, like this is how you build the suspense towards the hardcore. Like this is how you like really like there's just a constant kind of like tension there. It's like a thriller movie. Um and the post match is one of the most beautiful things you will ever see with Wildling playing as Atsushi Onita's bawling his eyes out because his two quote unquote daughters, his two wrestling daughters are fucking bloodied and burnt up and just completely, like out, and he's just pouring water on them, screaming, trying to get help. Like it is like a horror movie in all of the best ways. Um, and on the other side, Desperado and Kasai is kind of like the inverse of that, where it is a match that is a constant fucking car crash, and it's so like legitimately to certain points I would like rewind spots over and over again just to like try to understand how they didn't die doing them, like legitimately, like I would just be like, wow, like, and then the post match, the inverse, like the post match of Combat and Megumi was very like just like the the climax, like that was like the real like, oh my god, this is like disastrous. The post match of Kasai and Desperado is the inverse, where Kasai's like, yeah, we did all that, but we're still humans, and we still need to value our lives, and we still need to live every day to the fullest, but we also have to take care of the people who are important to ourselves, including us as human beings. Like we got to take care of ourselves. We can't just be willing to die for this because there's more to life than death matches and then wrestling. And he gets his daughter and he's all bloodied and he hugs his daughter and brings her to the back. Like legitimately, I bawl my eyes out every time I watch it. Like, and both matches are very much, kind of on a spectrum. Kind of, I love them for completely different reasons. But I love them all the same, and they're yeah. That's my 4 and 5, pretty easily. Is those
Hey,
two hard death matches?
you got a lot to say.
Yes. Well, I mean, you asked me my favorite matches ever.
I
What
know,
what
I know.
would you?
I didn't think you'd. I probably should have expected it. I suppose I'll kick off the top three.
Mm.
My number three, very surprisingly, it's a men's match. It is Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan
Oh,
from WrestleMania. Um, I feel like
all
you
right.
just don't get wrestling until you see a match like that where you're kind of living for every pinfall. Because at
Yeah.
the time, Kofi was this like white hot like wrestler who everybody liked and everybody respected and everybody wanted to see him finally win the big one. But because WWE is WWE, they had spit in the face of so many white hot respected wrestlers before. So it was a genuine like, are they gonna fuck this up or are they gonna do it? Until until the three was counted, you really weren't sure whether he was gonna do it or whether he was gonna lose. And so, like watching that live in a pub, surrounded by a lot of people, we were all just living and dying on every near fall, and you really see the strengths of WWE's style come through in a match like that, where you are genuinely on the edge of your seat, rooting for somebody to win. And I feel like Daniel Bryan did his role opposite Kingston in like a perfect way. He was just a perfect heel in that match. And yeah, the emotional release when Kofi wins was magical. So I really just don't feel like there's many better examples of what pro wrestling should be than that Kofi Daniel Bryan match.
Yeah, I would agree. I do love that match. I haven't seen it in so long. I got to rewatch it. It's been a long time since I watched it. Um, cause yeah, I remember where I was. I was in a hotel room because me and my mom were just moving, and so like I was like in a hotel room for the weekend,
Mm.
and I was sat there watching it on my little Roku, or I think I set my PlayStation up, and I was watching on that, and yeah, I was just amazed, and so I get that. That's a great shout. My I don't have any men's matches in my top three, which is funny that you do and I don't. Though, like I said, Desperado and Kasai, and Kudo and Toyota kind of can get into the top three at any given point,
Mm.
especially Desperado and Kasai. But my number three is Meiko versus Hokuto from 2001,
Wow.
uh,
Okay.
Gaia match. I feel like my top three matches. I mean, my top five matches are all matches that kind of are like stand out for one reason or another in my
Mm.
brain. And the reason this match stands out is because I've watched it 5 times, and every time I've watched it, I've liked it more, which does not happen for matches for me. Like like there's a if I watch a match more than twice, I start noticing everything that's wrong with it, uh, at least to some degree. And even if that doesn't take away from the match, like sometimes it'll be just as good or it'll be a little bit better. Um, this is the only match where like every time I've watched it, it's gotten actively better, and I notice things that make it so much better than I had ever thought it was. Uh, so after the fifth watch, it has landed at my number three of all time because it's so good. It's just so good. The opening stuff was so good. Like it's hard to even put into words. I feel like it's just such a perfect match, a perfect elevation of Meiko Satomura, and such a great late stage Akira Hokuto match.
Mm.
Uh, that kind of like reminded me that it's like she was just always good. Like even when she was like breaking down, and like even when certain things she couldn't do anymore, she was still so smart and still able to just deliver like the best matches you've ever seen. So yeah, that's my number three.
Okay, that isn't the last time we will see Miss Akira Hokuto on this one. Because she's actually in my number two. It's Akira Hokuto versus Shinobu Kandori. Their second match. It's from what is it again?
uh, I have that
Saint Battle
somewhere here.
Day or something.
Yeah,
Yes, or yeah, Saint Battle Final,
yeah,
1993.
that's
Um, I know people talk about their first one. I know this second one got 4 stars from Dave, so it's kind of gone under the radar. But this one is legitimately insane. It builds on the first match and also builds on what Hokuto had done in between because Hokuto went to LLPW and she beat Rumi Kasama in a hair versus hair match and shaved her bald while Kandori watched. And when you add that context, it makes their second match even more heated because not only had Kandori been humiliated by losing their first match, Hokuto then went to LLPW and beat their president and shaved her bald. And so the fact like this match just starts like the first one never ended. They're just immediately into punching each other in the face, legitimately punching each other in the face.
yeah.
And I've talked about the finish before. Like the finish is insane. Kandori is throwing these like legitimate uppercuts at Hokuto, and she is just dead on the ground as AJW wrestlers are like being held back to stop from rushing the ring, and she's like trying to get up and trying to get up because she's Akira Hokuto. That's what she does until eventually she succumbs to the fact that Kandori is going to knock her the fuck out, and she does. And I just think like from start to finish, that second Kandori Hokuto match is the perfect mix of like emotion and storytelling and just sheer violence as far as pro wrestling goes. So it's one of those where you have to know a lot going into it, but once you watch everything
It's
and you
better with
see the
context.
context,
Yeah.
yeah, once you see the context and you understand who these women are and where they're at this point in time, it is legitimately untouchable.
I do have the first one above the second one, but I have them both. I have the second one rated 9.5 and the first one rated a 10. Uh,
Oh, fair.
and if you know me, and this is true, I've only rated 11 match a 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
ever. So, it's 9.5 is basically as good as it gets.
Mhm.
um, and yeah, and also I should also mention, um, all of these matches are ones like all the matches that I have in my top 10 are ones I've rated since 2020 because
Mhm.
like I'm sure John Cena versus not the Brock Lesnar one. I don't want to bring up Brock Lesnar. But I'm sure there's like a John Cena one from my childhood that I like, or fucking Punk versus Jericho. I remember growing up, I've watched like legitimately 40
Oh,
times because I was obsessed with it.
it's a good one.
But I haven't, I haven't watched those matches in quite a while. So these are the ones that I remember of the past, what, 5 years that I've watched.
Yeah.
My number two also has Shinobu Kandori in it. It is Kandori versus Toyota from
Wow. Okay.
1998. Kawasaki Crimson Struggle. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think this was just like this is, and I've talked about this match so many times, but it's just like the perfect Kandori match, of what Kandori is meant to be as a character and as a fighter and a wrestler, because she is just such an asshole. Um, but she never does anything more than she needs to. Like I think the Hoda matches really brought some out of Kandori that was really interesting in that like she had to like fist fight in the same way that the Hokuto matches did. Like she had to fist fight. In this match, it was like somebody trying to take it to Kandori's level, trying to wrestle in Kandori's domain. Uh and Kandori just fucking breaking her limbs, basically. Like that was the coolest thing ever. You know what I mean? And it just was constantly ongoing. Uh I I I watched this match a couple years ago and I was like, holy shit, that was so good. And I watched it when I wasn't a big Toyota fan, and I was like, okay, I get it. Like I get where that like Toyota has so much of a catalog that I'm underrating. And ever since then I've continued to watch it and I'm just like, man, this is just such a a gnarly Shinobu Kandori performance. It's one of my favorite performances ever, and I also love that Toyota to her in the way that she did, trying to do the limb work and trying to do this and that. And then the finish was absolutely incredible. Kandori got her in like an Armageddon, where she like was fucking twisting her ankle and had like a double arm bar on, and was just fucking just like got her in a pretzel, and just like the glee on Kandori's face in like
Mhm.
completely breaking again, like trying to break every limb of Toyota's. Like there was just like this sense of like real like accomplishments from her, and then she won, and she won the world title, the red belt specifically. Or no, she that was a defense. I forgot that was a defense. Yeah,
Yeah.
because she won it from Hoda, and then she defended it. Yeah, so
Hoda
I
series as
forgot.
well. Very good.
Hoda series also great.
Great
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I mean. Like I feel like Kandori in '98 is such a remarkable wrestler,
Mm.
and this was kind of her magnum opus, um, of that year and probably of her career for me because I adore it so much.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, no, I agree with that one. I wouldn't put it up there, but it is an instant classic. One of the best Toyota matches by far. Just
Yeah,
because Kandori asked questions of her that nobody else ever did. And, kind of like the Kandori Hokuto stuff in a way. Like Hokuto at some points was afraid to like throw her slaps because she was going to get her arm snapped. And
yeah.
Toyota's kind of the same. It's like she can't do her offense because Kandori will catch her knee and just rip it off. It's a
Which
fascinating
she
match
did.
to
She did
watch.
at one
Yeah,
point. That literally she just grabbed her. She's like, nope, we
yeah.
ain't doing that.
Like it's fascinating. It's genuinely like just smart pro wrestling that only Kandori could really pull off. So yeah, I get it. Now my number one match. You're gonna have to stick with me here. This is a lengthy thing. 60-minute Iron Woman first attack
Okay.
8-man tag team match. Team JWP: Cutie Suzuki, Dynamite Kanzai, Hikari Fukuoka, and Mayumi Ozaki versus Team AJW: Azure Kong, Kyoko Inoue, Saki Hasegawa, and Kako Inoue, also known as the Thunder Queen Battle. Um, I don't think there will just ever be a 60-minute match that is this engaging. Like they start it really well. It's split into like different singles matches. If you've never seen it, it starts as like four separate singles matches, and in one of those, I think AJW takes a lead, like a slim lead. No, actually, they go behind. Anyway, this is a show happening in JWP, and Team AJW takes the lead. It's like an Iron Woman style match, and it is all about JWP stopping Azure Kong because she was at the peak of her powers at this point, and she was single handedly like running through their entire team. Every time Kong would get in, the match would just shift on its head, and it was like her and Dynamite Kansai were like the two game changers for their team, and it was all like strategic how they would like base the match over who was in and who could get who out and how they could handle the big hitter of the other team. And you're just watching these JWP fans lose their mind as their team fights back into the match and eventually gets the late win. And so I just feel like the way they layer the match and how it's almost like a strategic battle almost between two units. I feel like wrestling very rarely captures that in tag matches and 6 woman and 8 woman tags. It never really feels like a unit who are a well-oiled machine trying to like outdo the other one. It's just kind of wrestling. But this legitimately was presented like these are like different pieces, and how they interact with each other is going to determine the match. And it's almost like watching a sport. It's like watching a football match where there's like good dribblers and a tall forward, and that team is going to play different to the other team who doesn't have a tall forward, who maybe has all fast players up front, and they're going to try and play a different way. It's all about how your team can get the win, and I feel like this match captured that energy in a way that nothing else ever has. And also, the action is insane because look at the names involved: Kong, Kong, Kanzai, peak, cruiserweight Mayumi Ozaki, Hikari Fukuoka, who was out of her goddamn mind, Saki Hasegawa, Young Goat, and Takako Inoue, violence bitch. Like, look at the names in that match. Like, they were doing this smart, intelligent pro wrestling around an insane match structure. And you had Kanzai wrecking shit and you had Kong wrecking shit, and it is fantastic. If you've never seen it, go watch it. Set aside an hour. It is so worth it. It doesn't feel like an hour. It is just one of the best matches ever. And I think it will take a lot for anything to topple this one.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I You're gonna get mad at me for this.
Oh boy.
I've only watched it in highlight form. I
Wow.
watched
And
like
now
a 10-minute
yeah,
highlight of
you
it
gotta
because
see it.
I was like, it's 60 minutes, and this
You
was a couple
have
years
to
ago.
watch it.
Yeah, because I was like, this is 60 minutes. I'll watch the Spark Notes. But yeah, I'll watch it. I watch it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
forgot, like, because I was like, I feel like you talk about it enough. I'm sure I would like. I'm sure that it's a great match, and I did like the highlight version of it. And I was like, have I never? I could have swore and it's because I watched a highlight of it. Um, my top one is kind of a cop out because similar to Hokuto versus Kandori 2 for you, mine does require context to it because
It's okay,
my
got too
favorite
much.
match. No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
right. Okay.
My favorite match, Kagetsu and Konami is my number 6,
Oh,
um,
okay.
from
Okay.
the 5 star. Uh, so that would be like my, you know, third honorable mention, I guess.
Hmm.
But no, my favorite match of all time, what I think is probably the best match of all time, is the the thing about it is that it's a double feature, but it's the second part of a double feature ultimately because Linus Asuka and Shigusa Nagayo versus Jakota and Devil Masami
Oh,
in the
yes. Yeah.
Fuji TV Cup Finals of '94 or of '84 uh, was the greatest match I've ever seen. But it's a lot better after watching their match from the tournament, from the inner tournament. Because it's the final, and they had a match. I think it was a block match. I don't know. The old tournaments were a bit weird, but in terms of how they were formatted. But they had a match in block, and Crush Gals won. And that match was great. It was tremendous, and it was Crush Gals really just taking advantage of the injuries that Yokota was going through and that she kept going through it throughout the entire tournament. And so when the match came back, and that was the final, there was this real like venom behind everything they were doing. Both teams were doing, and it was so fucking good. Like like I said, one of the best matches I've ever seen. Um, because it just felt like everything they had done in the first match that led to like a stoppage or a count. I think it was a stoppage. Um, was then like so like there was so much like tension from that first match that did not get let out, if that makes sense, because it didn't end in a clean finish. uh that then that all fueled into the final that was so breakneck, so aggressive, so constant. It was I mean, it's my favorite match ever, but like it was Devil Masami's performance, one of the greatest performances of any wrestler ever. uh, you get to see Crush Gals as the heels, which is crazy because they're wrestling Devil Masami and Jaguar Yokota, who both obviously went on or had beforehand great careers as heels. But you got to see Crush Gals be like the dominant assholes, frankly, uh, and it was just so good. I don't even know how to put it into words. I wanted to write about it recently. Actually, I was thinking
Oh,
about putting something together about both matches, about the double feature, because I think it's like if you're like it's such a experience. I remember I watched it for the first time 2 years ago in my living room, and I was like going down the deep dive. I was having a deep dive of like the '80s stuff, and I found or I saw somebody on Twitter mention that the block match was their favorite match of 1984. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And I watched it and I really liked it. But I was like, oh, that was really cool. That was dope. That was a great match. And I saw that they ran it back a couple weeks later, and I was like, oh, I'll watch that. And I was like, it was a spiritual moment. You know what I mean? I started levitating. It was crazy. I absolutely adored it. It was such a great time, such a fun match that everything clicked perfectly between the four of them, who I think are like the four best wrestlers of the '80s. Frankly, uh, it was just great. It was great. I should write about it. I probably will write about it. But yeah, Crush Gals versus Empress Duo is that match. It's so good.
all right. Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like I didn't think about those ones, but they are some pretty insane matches. And those four had some pretty legendary ones. I mean, I didn't even get to bring it up, but Nagayo and Devil, the Dream Slam match, one
Yeah.
of my favorites as well. But yeah, that was fun. I'm enjoying this month where nothing is happening, so we get to just sidetrack. But we should call it a day there, unless you have any closing remarks.
One more thing, because I'm just looking at my 11 matches that have been rated 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Um, It's Harley Saito versus Shinobu Kandori is a
hell
match
yeah.
that we both watched for the first time for VTG. It was one of the first
Hmm.
episodes it was one of the first audio recordings we ever did, was to talk about that match from 1990. It's at my like 8 or 9 depending on the day. You know,
Hmm.
it's not top 5 or anything, but it, it's just it's another one of those matches that just gets better every time you watch it, and just technically it's one of the most impressive matches I've ever seen. Because it's just so it's very grounded. It's very and it just works on a level that I don't know if many other matches that are like it does. It works so incredibly well. And I just wanted to bring that up because that was a match that we uh reviewed 5 years ago now, over 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And that was, yeah, that was one of the first episodes of audio we ever did, was talking about another one of my favorite matches ever. So just a
All
little
right.
shout to them.
Hell yeah. No, that was a great match. Probably the first classic we talked about together
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we hadn't seen it either before that. That was like a
No, neither
full
of
on
us.
discovery for both of us. So that was fun.
Because
Um,
original JVPs was very hard to find when we were
yeah.
starting the podcast. It's a bit easier now. Like there are some ways to find some of the original
More
JVP
people have
stuff.
paid for it and uploaded it basically
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I think we
But at
bought
that
the
time,
show, or
yeah,
maybe yeah, I think
yeah,
we
we
bought
did.
shows for a little bit there. Yeah,
We bought a couple of them. But yeah, that was just an insane match.
yeah. But yeah, all right. That was a nice trip down memory lane. We will be back next week to review two Corkins. and the announced card for Marigold at Sumo Hall. So going to be a pretty full on week. Because then I think there's a New Blood to preview as well, and Coco in Marigold. So gonna be
Woo.
a pretty busy one next week. But for now, it is time to close the show. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Shine forever, Stardom Quest, Gold Do. Passion!
Should Joe.